Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for another fantastic speed build. Today I'm actually doing a build requested by one of you, someone by the user of Rizzy Rascal, which by the way, love your little username. It definitely made me smile when I saw it, as well as your comments, so thank you for that. Had commented under a starter home build I did a few weeks ago, which I will link at the end of the video in case you would like to see it, but it was like a little cozy fall starter home. And I mentioned in that speed build that I unfortunately went a little pack crazy because I can only restrict myself so much. It's either budget or pack use or storyline, and sometimes it's honestly the confines of my own mind. But someone requested that I maybe do some limited pack builds, and I normally do try to upload those pretty frequently because I know, honestly, up until relatively recently, I had no extra packs. I had like for the longest time I only had like Seasons, City Living, ooh, that might have been it. Oh, the tiny home pack and the interior design pack. So that's all I had. But now I have a lot more packs because I have a big girl job and I work 75 hours a week and I don't have children, at least none with no paws. So I buy Sims packs because they make me happy. Okay. But because I have access to all these packs, sometimes I don't like doing the limited pack builds, but also I do like the challenge because I am someone who loves a little base game build. Little Simsy was saving my Sims gameplay before I was really truly a, honestly, even half decent Sims builder. I would consider myself to be mediocre, and I know a lot of people, oh, hold on, let's check that ego. Check that ego out the door. I would consider myself to be a semi-average builder, maybe slightly above average, and that's because there are people out there who just blow my mind with how talented they are. Someone right off the top of my head who I enjoy watching her videos a lot is like Jessica Pye. Her builds are insane. I really have not mastered terrain manipulation, and I don't plan on trying to. And I don't have the tool mod, I don't have better build than my, because I am not that elite, but I can absolutely demolish a little suburban base game build, which is exactly what we're doing today. The house we are building today is, again, completely base game. I was going to try to keep it under a budget, but that went out the window at some point. It didn't end up being too expensive. So, like, I still think it's playable, especially when you consider the size. I believe the house, all in all, ends up being a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. It's 2 stories. It has a beautiful wraparound porch. It has a pool. When I put the pool in is kind of when I decided the budget was, like, not gonna be a thing. But there's always cheating for money. And I, for one, have never been too good for that. I do like to struggle a little bit more. The way that my style of gameplay has, kind of tweaked a little bit as I've transition from like content creation, or from playing to content creation, but that's because I play a lot more, therefore I'm more likely to be bored with the same old. So yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, what if I just commit like a little murder, a little infidelity, like no biggie. I want to have 9 kids, let's do it. Do we live in an apartment and I want a horse? Why not? I'm just saying. The bounds are limitless when you make as much content as I do and you play as much Sims as I do. Our build is slowly but surely coming together, and I am going to talk about it, but I do need to tell you all a thing that I did. This might be the most chronically online girly pop thing I have actively done on purpose, or on accident, in my life. So, the other day, I was showered, I was like, my hair was in my hair wrap, my hair mask was on, my skincare was done, I was in my little nightgown, like, and I'm like, let's get a little sweet treat. But it's like 11 o'clock at night, so everything is closed, so I'm kind of limited. So I go to the gas station for a little ice cream. I like a little ice cream. I need to set the scene. I have really tinted windows, and it was kind of foggy. And I broke the #1 cardinal rule that my mom, it was like the second rule she ever taught me about driving, which is never back up further than you have to. So I'm backing up, yapping, and I dinged a little car. I was like, honestly, for me, I was really calm about it because I freak out about things, and I was so calm. I was like, oops, I'd never done that before, by the way, just so you know. This is my first time. Hopefully last. Hopefully. Anyway, like the good Samaritan I am, I roll my window down, and I'm like, it's late. So the gentleman whose car I just like tapped, he was inside, so I waited for him to come out, and I'm in my nightie, like I'm in my jammies. Like roll the window down, like, hey, hey. I was like, I think I tapped your car. He's like, you think you tapped my car? I was like, Well, I couldn't see the car. The car was gray on gray on gray. And I really couldn't see it because, like, at first, I honestly thought I, like, tapped the gas station, like, pumps. I didn't think I had a car. And he's like, you did? And I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, I'm gonna look. I'm like, okay. Because I'm in my jammies. I didn't get out and look. I'm wearing Crocs. I'm not doing that. My feet are clean. And he was like, honestly, there's not even, like, paint transfer. Like, I had no idea. I was like, okay. And I skirted off. I was like, you know. And I listened to my girly pop music all the way home. And I wasn't even stressed about it. Like, I got upstairs, I, like, eat my ice cream. I hadn't even really thought about it that much until I was like, you know what's gonna make a great speed-filled story time? This. And I did the right thing. I didn't panic. My therapist and I are so proud of me. I, you know, will do better next time. And my ice cream was delicious. So really, the point of the story is to stay calm and do the right thing. But you know what was funny is when I did it and I first rolled my window down, there was a gentleman there who was like pumping gas in his car, different guy. And he just, before anything, he goes, I didn't see anything. Thanks, G. Thanks. Thank you. But like, I just know how crappy it is to have someone hit your car because I was at work one time and someone hit my car and I was so sad about it. It was not a big deal. It was the principal. I'm a principal girly, okay? And like, honestly, you gotta say sorry sometimes. Funny enough, we are doing one of my favorite parts of the entire house right now, which is the entryway. I've been saying this for a little bit now, but the entryways to my homes are something I've really been focused in on the last few months when it comes to building, especially in a family home, because I feel like it's the one space that you can really clutter and kind of tell a story, especially in a family home. Backpacks, shoes, mail, clutter. You guys know how I feel about clutter. And just make the home feel like really lived in without cluttering up the house to the point that it's not very functional. Whether your game can't run it, your computer can't run it, or if your Sims just can't get around all the stuff. But I just love a little entryway. This house honestly had a relatively closed off floor plan, but it still felt open because all the beautiful new archways I used from that fabulous base game update that we got a few weeks ago where we got like a gazillion swatches. Shout out to EA. I love that. I love that. I'm always down for free stuff. For those of you who've been watching my Reaper's Reward Challenge, you know how I feel about the free stuff. I will never turn it down, even if I don't find it practical. And in this house in particular, so I went through, I finished the entire upstairs because I took like a little break, maybe I ate dinner or something. But the reason I'm telling you this is I did the entire exterior of the house, and I don't know if my game crashed. I don't know if I lost my marbles and just didn't hit save. But long story short, I didn't get anything, like the entire interior I had to go back through and do, and I was so furious, and I was like, oh, I'm done, I'm gonna go to bed, and I was like, I don't think that's safe. Like, I just had a nagging feeling. Like, I shut my computer down and I was like, I don't think that's safe. I was brushing my teeth going to bed, and I log back on, lo and behold, nothing saved. So I refurnished the entire interior of the house because I was so mad and like determined. I was like, I liked how it looked, I have to go through and like lock in and do it again. So it might look a tad different when we do the walkthrough at the end than it does right now. Now you know why. I don't want to gaslight anyone. I, in fact, gaslit myself when I thought I saved the game. We are moving on to our little kids' room. I did a kids' room and a nursery because I wanted this to be for like a younger family. Maybe they're just kind of starting out. This is their first major family home, but there's like plenty of room to grow into. It's really cutesy. We loves her. But I ended up doing this rug. I kind of tied the entire room theme to and added in a little bit more purple. I used the dragon blarfy that you see in the corner to also kind of incorporate that color theme. And to be completely real with you, at one point in my adolescence, this was the theme of my room. It was literally just aqua and purple, two of the most jarring colors in my opinion. Maybe not jarring colors, but the most jarring shades of those colors. It was not just blue and purple. It wasn't like a cutesy lavender and like mint cool blue. It was aqua and deep purple. I was also someone who was deeply affected by the maroon burgundy craze that went around in like 2011, 2012 with like all the Aeropostale stuff. Oh, that had me by the neck. Oh, but it was, honestly, loved it. We're moving on into the nursery, and one thing I always say when it comes to building a base game home if you are wanting your base game homes to look more elevated, and really any home that you're doing, the secret, in my opinion, is clutter. Like, if you don't have a million packs, but you just get a little creative about how much you're cluttering spaces, like adding that little shelf that you see me just put in, and like sizing down those little baskets so it looks like there's like some new stuff. Like, taking advantage of the stuff that comes in the game is honestly one of the best ways to do it. It is a little bit more time consuming, but I think that, like, at least for me, when I'm looking at builds, I'm like, why is that build so much better than mine? I think it's because the level of clutter brought in and the level of detail is just so lived in, and I just honestly love it. But we are getting close to the end of our furnishing. We've been zooming around a lot, so we're going to jump in game for a live tour right now. Alright team, in true base game fashion, I built this home in the world of Willow Creek, which is of course a world we got in the base game. This house costs a whopping almost 70,000 simoleons, but again, it is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it has a pool. You could probably delete the pool if you wanted to save some money, because it is quite pricey, and there's lots of gorgeous landscaping. I wanted to make it really fun and bright, and it's clearly yellow. I also don't think we have nearly enough siding swatches. If you ask me what swatch update I want to see next, it would definitely be on some of the base game swatches, or siding swatches, roof textures, maybe even a couple more like exterior textures for the wallpaper, just because honestly I think every base game home I do is either this yellow, it's white, it's brick, or it's maybe like the pink or the orange every once in a while. But I did like a little 360 view. This is a huge freaking house. I'm going to turn my grid on so you can see it from the top down. So this is our upstairs. I know some people don't care about the floor plan. Other people really do. So I want to make sure everyone's included. This is our downstairs floor plan. Big, beautiful wraparound porch, which I would be so jealous of in real life. But you come up to the house. I love adding a little debug car into my base game build. Honestly, any of my builds, it just makes it feel more lived in and like luxurious. I know we don't have cars. I am not for nor against cars in the game. I just don't actively desire them. I am quite okay with like these fun little debug cars. That might be a hot take. It's just not something I ever played with very much in The Sims 3. Honestly, I don't even know if I had the packs for them in The Sims 3, because my mom was not buying me thousands of dollars of DLC and store content. That was not a thing in my household. But she did finally break down and get me the Island Living pack, so she is a queen. But let's go on inside to our build. Put all the walls up. You come into this very nice little formal entryway. Again, we love a little entryway, and you have this clutter, and of course right up into the stairs. Then you have this, which honestly you could essentially use as more of a formal dining area, but I made the kitchen like a more eat-in area because it's just what I preferred in the end. So this is just like a little office walkthrough area. You could probably convert it to an additional bedroom. There's a lot you could do with it. This is just how I ended up choosing to lay out the house, because it's a little bit different for me personally. I don't normally do such closed off floor plans. Then we have our living room, which is one of my favorite parts of the build. I liked what I did with like the pillows and like this little makeshift sectional. You might need to scoot this forward like a little, just a tad, so it's actually like playable, but we have this cute little like grandfather clock in here that's not centered, and that's gonna make me crazy. Let's fix that, my bad. And then of course we have our eat-in kitchen. It's very closed off, but yet still very open in my opinion. Then we have our little side bathroom right here. It's nothing special. I don't do very much to my my bathrooms. It looks like I forgot to put my wallpaper back, so we're gonna actually do that really quick. Okay, we have that. It's nothing too special. I didn't clutter it up too much because you still need like a solid cabinet or countertop to cook on, but it all looks very nice. Then, of course, you come upstairs. I was proud of how small this stair landing is, because sometimes I make my hallways upstairs just ginormous, and it ends up being this huge waste of space, even if I put a computer in it, because it's like kind of in the way. It just doesn't make very much sense. So I like the layout of this overall. You come in here, we have our upstairs bedroom, which it looks like we're missing a rug for some reason, and of course we have an additional ensuite bathroom with just a shower this time. And then of course we have our 2 kids rooms. This room is one of my favorites. I'm really happy with how the kids rooms came out, because they're fun and they feel lived in, but they're not overly cluttered. This, however, is a tremendous fire hazard, in case you didn't know. Then over here we have like our little kind of foresty, outdoorsy. This is one of my go-to nursery themes, but it's elevated because look at the little shelf. Look at this shelf, very cutesy, very mindful, very, very demure. But that is the overall inside of our house. Let's go on back here. There's some planter boxes, a chess table, a monkey bar set for the kiddos, as well as a pool. So there are quite a few skill building items in here, as well as your computer and your kitchen stuff and television. So this house really has everything your sim could need, and it is, of course, a base game house. This house is available on the gallery. It's just under Base Game Family Home, and as always, my gallery ID is just in the description box down below. You can use that same description tagline Tiana305 at checkout on the EA app if you decide to buy any packs. There is a super fantastic sale going on until October 29th, so packs are up to 50% off, and if you use my code, it helps support me as a creator. I encourage you to possibly consider using, if not my code, maybe one of your other favorite creators, just because it helps support them. We put a lot of time into our content, so if it comes to your mind, it would be very nice of you. But that's going to be the end of our build. Please feel free to give me some more build ideas. I am happy to do some more limited pack builds, limited budget builds, but I need the storylines. I need the drama to really get into it, if you know what I'm saying. Because if you tell me I'm building for a vegetarian vampire who loves knitting, and they just happen to only have 30,000 simoleons to their name, I'm in it to win it, okay? So please, please, please feel free to drop down any suggestions, even if it's like literally for your own personal gameplay. Be like, I'm playing a legacy family, I hate building, I need a new legacy household. This is what they're into. The more detail, the better. Write me a novel in the comments for all I care. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know I love when you do that. Don't forget to drink your water, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.